What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires Now. In lieu of not getting a San Diego Comic-Con Hall H this year, instead we got to sit down at the Marvel HQ in Burbank, where Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige was probably a lot more candid than he would have been in a presentation on stage, answering questions at the press. Not only talking about what's coming up for Avengers Secret Wars, but beyond, where he said in a direct quote that eventually they would have to recast Iron Man and Steve Rogers. But if you look at the way it was framed, it certainly made it sound like that may be something for way down the road. Well, not according to one industry insider who indicates that post-Avengers Secret Wars, we're going to have two Caps in the MCU. We're going to break down exactly what he said and what it means for Marvel Studios recasting the OG Avengers maybe a lot sooner than we thought. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That'll automatically enter you for our ongoing PS5 giveaways. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this latest update is coming from the industry insider James Mack WL. He's a brand new anonymous Twitter scoopster. Well, as anonymous as you can be when you use your name as your handle. You guys can follow him at Twitter under that very same handle, and he has been extremely active as of late, especially as it pertains to Avengers Doomsday leaks. He's indicating that post-Avengers Secret Wars, Marvel Studios will actually recast Steve Rogers and have two simultaneous Caps in the MCU. You'll still have Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, as his version of Cap, alongside a new recast version of Steve Rogers, and at the same time. Now, initially I would think, and based on some things that Anthony Mackie has said, that he's going to get another film as Captain America. But if you were paying attention, one of Kevin Feige's most recent quotes about Captain America Brave New World was it was the first film without Steve Rogers in regards to why it performed so poorly. Now, this wasn't a knock on Anthony Mackie the actor, more so commentary on Sam Wilson's Cap and the basic fact that the Captain America franchise was built on the back of Chris Evans' Steve Rogers, and they changed not only their lead actor but their main character as well. Of course, it was going to be hard to live up to what fans had already come to know from the franchise with a new face and a full new character. That's why it makes sense now, in light of this reforming of a soft rebooted MCU with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, that they would also bring back some OG Avengers. Now, there are other quotes, especially real recently by Kevin Feige, who indicated for some actors that are in their prime, like Chris Hemsworth, he could see them playing Thor for another decade. And we're going to get into why that's important here in just a second, but this is basically confirmation and admission by the top brass at Marvel Studios that they need a Steve Rogers Cap in the MCU. In fact, they need all of their legacy characters in the MCU if they're hoping to capture what it means to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe right as they're getting the X-Men. I think that this was always going to happen, and while I could see Tony Stark being recast eventually, not as Robert Downey Jr., you have to wonder if Chris Evans might not take this opportunity to stick around. Hear me out. There's that quote about Chris Hemsworth still being in his prime, and he's only 42. Chris Evans is only 2 years older than that at 44. And yes, he's well on record at this point saying that he didn't want to mess up the landing that they stuck for Cap's original story. But the cat is way out of the bag now. We're going back to that original Cap and pretty much picking up where we left off, if the rumors are true, when he went back in time to visit Peggy. So that story is going to continue, and you have to imagine again, if Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday can perform, at least from Marvel's point of view, why wouldn't you want Chris Evans sticking around? And wouldn't it even be just a little weirder if Sam Wilson's Cap had to be in the MCU side by side with another Steve Rogers if it wasn't the Steve Rogers he had all the history with, i.e. Chris Evans' Steve Rogers? So while this update and quotes from Kevin Feige and others seem to indicate a recast and somewhere down the road, I think if we're getting a Steve Rogers almost immediately after Secret Wars, it's gotta be Chris Evans' Cap. And listen, if this is weird to you guys, or in any way you think a shot at Sam Wilson as Captain America, in the comics they were both Captain America at the same time and simultaneously. They got away with it there, and I could honestly see a Cap 5 with Sam and Steve teaming up to take down Serpent Society, probably what they should have made Brave New World if it wasn't going to be Sam assembling his new Avengers team, which apparently Marvel Studios thought was a better idea to do off-screen, and I would say it was to save money on paying actors, but that's only half joking because they obviously paid Harrison Ford and could have gone a long way with a couple of other ancillary Avenger characters. Okay, topic for a different video. In the meantime, there are going to be those who want to spin this as Sam Wilson's Cap as a failure and Anthony Mackie not able to carry the movie, and that's why they've got to bring Chris Evans' Captain America back, and it's just not that way. Those characters were always friends in the comics, they coexisted in the comics, they can easily coexist in the movies, and let's face it, Anthony Mackie did get the shield. He is Captain America. Doesn't mean that there can't be multiple, especially when we're in the middle of a multiverse saga where we know that there's infinite variants. Now, only because we're talking about it in the face of an Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars where there are going to be high-stakes Avengers deaths that are permanent, that aren't undone, and have real stakes. We've been talking about it for a while, actors' opportunities for an off-ramp from the MCU. And so for Anthony Mackie, another real young actor, it could also be the case that he's not going to survive these next two Avengers movies. Now, this update would indicate that he does. If there's going to be two Caps going forward, one of them's got to be Sam Wilson. And I would imagine he still wants to play Sam as much as possible. And from Marvel's point of view, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with having two Caps. Sam Wilson is definitely not Thor, where we've heard sort of competing rumors that Thor's sticking around for 10 years, but also that he might get a fitting death in Doomsday. Yeah, he'll go to Valhalla and return the same way Jane Foster will return as a Valkyrie. Sam Wilson is not that, and so if he should die in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday, you might want to throw this scoop directly out the window. Also, Chris Evans sticking around as Cap, as easily as I said that sort of makes sense given his age and his coming back to the MCU and them having a Cap going forward, I could see it going the other way as well, where this will be his next best opportunity to close that door, and then he won't be coming back somewhere down the road when the Russo's direct Secret Wars 2 in 2038. For my final thought of this video, and I mean it because I've been saying it since the beginning, Marvel Studios should have never let Tony Stark and Steve Rogers loose in the first place. They should have kept RDJ and Chris Evans for as long as possible. They could have figured out a different way to end Avengers Endgame, because look, here we are right now, and I could make some stupid pun about where did that lead you back to me, but it's the truth. Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are two of the biggest actor names going into what is now Avengers 5. You literally didn't leave these characters alone. They're right back. So why shouldn't you have just featured them during the Multiverse Saga? Oh, man. Seriously, Marvel. Hey, at least they're doing their best to try to fix it now. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. How do you feel about two Caps? And if it's not Chris Evans returning as Steve Rogers in the future of the MCU, who do you have as being recast? I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. We are still giving away PS5s at the channel. We've got Marvel Zombies at the end of the month, and then Wonder Man after that. All you got to do be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Make sure to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on to keep up with the videos. And of course, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms under the name AllFires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.